The Oval Office, February 28, 2025. A day that was supposed to mark a significant step forward in international relations. It was supposed to be a day of diplomacy, a day for peace. Leaders from around the world had high hopes for the discussions that were to take place. It quickly became a battleground instead. The atmosphere rapidly shifted from one of cooperation to one of confrontation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky sat across from President Trump. The tension was palpable. Both leaders had their own agendas, and neither was willing to compromise. It hung heavy in the air, like the moments before a storm. The room was thick with unspoken words and unresolved issues. The meeting was meant to solidify a rare earth minerals agreement. This agreement was crucial for both nations, promising economic benefits and strategic advantages. A joint press conference was planned. The world was watching with bated breath, waiting for a positive outcome. But the situation spiraled out of control. Heated words were exchanged. Accusations flew left, right, and center. The meeting ended abruptly. Zelensky was ushered out, his face a mask of frustration and disappointment. The press conference was canceled. Reporters packed up their equipment, their faces reflecting the gravity of the situation. The agreement lay in tatters. What was meant to be a historic accord had disintegrated into a diplomatic disaster. The Oval Office, once a symbol of diplomacy, had become a crucible of conflict. The echoes of the failed meeting would reverberate for years to come, a stark reminder of the fragility of international relations. Trump's fury was on full display, his face contorted with rage, his voice booming across the room. The intensity of his emotions was palpable, leaving no doubt about his feelings. He unleashed a tirade against Zelensky. Accusations flew like arrows, each one more pointed than the last. The atmosphere grew increasingly charged as Trump continued his verbal assault. Gratitude, he roared, was in short supply. His voice echoed with frustration, as if he couldn't comprehend the lack of appreciation. The United States, he claimed, had given more than enough, more than Europe. His words were filled with a sense of injustice, as if the world had wronged him. Data, however, contradicted this claim. Charts and graphs painted a different picture, one that didn't align with Trump's narrative. Zelensky, Trump declared, was gambling with lives. His words were heavy with accusation, each one a blow to Zelensky's credibility. Gambling with World War III. The gravity of his statement hung in the air, a dire warning of potential catastrophe. He accused Zelensky of disrespecting the United States. His tone was laced with contempt, as if the very idea was an affront to him personally. His words dripped with disdain. Every syllable was a testament to his scorn, leaving no room for misinterpretation. Zelensky, he concluded, was not ready for peace. His final words were a damning indictment, a clear message of disapproval. He was not welcome back until he was. The ultimatum was clear, leaving no room for negotiation. The room crackled with tension. Every eye was on Trump, every ear straining to catch his next word. The world watched in disbelief. This was not diplomacy. This was a spectacle, a dramatic display of power and anger. This was a public shaming, a moment that would be remembered not for its diplomacy, but for its raw, unfiltered emotion. Vice President Vance sat beside Trump. He was no mere bystander. Vance joined the onslaught. He accused Zelensky of disrespect. Where, he demanded, was the gratitude? Had Zelensky even offered thanks? He hammered on Ukraine's military struggles, manpower shortages, recruiting issues. Vance's words were sharp, pointed. They landed like decisive uppercuts in a boxing bout, each one chipping away at any pretense of diplomacy. The meeting had descended into chaos. The message was clear. The United States was done with appeasement. Zelensky stands his ground. Zelensky, however, was not cowed. He stood his ground. Despite the immense pressure from various international entities and the looming threat of heightened Russian aggression, he remained resolute. His determination was evident in every public appearance and private meeting. The United States, he maintained, was on Ukraine's side. It had to be. The alliance between the two nations was crucial for maintaining a balance of power in the region. Zelensky emphasized the importance of this partnership in numerous speeches and diplomatic engagements. Stopping Russian aggression was paramount. The stakes were high, and the consequences of inaction were dire. Zelensky knew that the future of Ukraine depended on a strong and united front against the encroaching forces. He pushed back against Trump's claims. Zelensky was vocal in his rebuttals. often challenging the narratives that undermined Ukraine's position. His assertiveness in these debates showcased his unwavering commitment to his country's sovereignty. European aid, he argued, was greater than Trump acknowledged. Zelensky highlighted the extensive support from European allies, which was instrumental in bolstering Ukraine's defenses and humanitarian efforts. He had the data to prove it. Detailed reports and statistics were presented to substantiate his claims, leaving little room for doubt about the extent of international support. War, Zelensky stated, touched everyone. The human cost of the conflict was immense, affecting countless lives and displacing many. Zelensky often spoke about the personal stories of those impacted, bringing a human element to the geopolitical struggle. Everybody has problems, even you, he asserted. His message was clear. No one was immune to the repercussions of the conflict. He urged global leaders and citizens alike to recognize the shared responsibility in addressing the crisis. The United States, he warned, would not be immune to the conflict's ripple effects. The interconnected nature of global politics meant that instability in one region could have far-reaching consequences. His words were a stark reminder. The world was watching and judging. Zelensky's speeches often carried a sense of urgency, reminding the international community of their role in shaping the future of global peace and security. A relationship on the rocks. This meeting was not an isolated incident. It was the culmination of weeks of escalating tensions. Trump had publicly called Zelensky a dictator. Their relationship was fractured. Trust had eroded. Prior to Zelensky's visit, Trump had met with other world leaders: French President Macron, British Prime Minister Starmer. The topic? The Ukraine conflict, and the peace talks that seemed to be nearing their end. Trump expressed confidence. Putin, he claimed, would not dare violate a peace agreement. But the cracks in the facade were growing. The uncertain future. Lawmakers reacted strongly to the Oval Office debacle. Public opinion was divided. Conservatives rallied behind Trump. Democrats were appalled. They accused him of siding with dictators. The world looked on, uncertain and anxious. The future of Ukraine and the world hung in the balance. Could the United States and Ukraine repair their fractured relationship? Or was this the beginning of a new, more dangerous chapter? The world held its breath. The stakes were higher than ever. For more videos like these from Trendland's channel, kindly like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. See you on the next one. Cheers.